Double Dutch rudder. Pinless rudder.
Hey guys, welcome back to Toy Lips. Today I want to take a look at the final two figures from the retro-carded Spider-Man wave. Spider Armor Mark 1 and Hammerhead. Both looking real shiny in their throwback packaging. Real special, a lot of purples, and making that yellow just pop. Spider-Man up here, Marvel Comics web splat. Nice little picture on the front. Here's our figure in the bubble. And on the back, you get that same picture, accessories, cross-sell, and a little bit of a read-up.
When Spider-Man's powers aren't enough, he dons his patented spider armor. This ceramic metal battlesuit protects Spidey from his deadliest foes, giving him the time he needs to take it to the bad guys.
Similar deal for Hammerhead. Picture on the front there. And same thing on the back. Accessories right there, cross-sell, and a read-up.
Hammerhead's skull is reinforced with adamantium, making his head flat on top. All the same, this hard-headed criminal's frequent run-ins with Spider-Man have caused him no shortage of headaches.
Okay, let's quit pissing everyone off and get into these toys.
Right out the box, we got these couple of sexual tyrannosaurs.
They each come with a meager assemblage of accessories that we will study in further detail after we take a closer look at the figures themselves.
Taking a lusty little look with you.
So this is Spider-Man, of course, quite recognizable in the spider armor, something he cooked up in the 90s. This, however, is a rendition from the video game. So there's just some slight stylistic differences, basically. But it is noticeable, recognizable as the Mark 1 spider armor for the shiny metal and ceramic plating. And then this black, Kevlar, whatever, going on underneath here, presumably some type of armor. Other type of armor. Some underraiment. You can see all this nice detail all over the thing. The sculpting on this, these have all got to be unique parts, right? Sometimes you think maybe they've slipped in one of these upper thigh pieces from somewhere, but it's got all this piping and all of this unique stuff that doesn't even have to be there. Textured like a basketball, and then it's got boots, knee pads, and these are all raised nicely, sculpted web patterns in there. But could have used a wash, perhaps. You do get these little web shooters here. They're right here. That looks good here, but if you have them like this, you know what I mean, and you have the web shooting hands on, it doesn't line up. It's always on the side, so that's always kind of a, what do you do? Put that on like a bracelet and let me rotate it. Let me rotate it where I will. Spider emblem here though is sculpted into this, and you can see some of it peeking through. That's nice. All of the raised sculpted parts. So this for some sort of vest, This face is really nice too. More sculpted spider lines, and the eyes, pretty clean paint applications. A little spotty on the bottom there, but look at that. Just from right here, it looks great. Maybe here. What about here? Really digging the aesthetic of this figure, but I think it's more akin to the video game figures than the regular 616. Peg holes on the feet, some tread on the outside, but otherwise wrapping it up. For a proper look at those accessories, it is of course the obligatory web shooting hands for a Spider-Man coming up close there. And that is some nice detail on those hands. Sculpted, raised web pattern on the inside. They're all textured and such. Little plates on the back and on the knuckles. And then these couple of web effects here that a lot of people don't seem to know just what to do with. They are both sort of raised a hair. Like this one has a crease running through it this way. They are very nice, soft, translucent plastic. I think do whatever you want with them. You could just throw them over a guy. Lay them around for like a backdrop piece of double-sided tape. Maybe they could stick on a wall. Sure can't focus on them though, huh? So those are nice. That's fine. Trying something new there. I'm definitely happy to have that. They could have just thrown in another one of those effects that came with the shocker. A couple of those, called it a day. Okay, articulation is pretty nice. He can wad way up into a ball here. Just yank him right out of all of that. His head is on the barbell joint here. No more neck hinge. You do get great range on this, and especially good tilt side to side. But people complain maybe you can't shove it back as far. It doesn't. It just kind of rocks. But I feel like it works pretty well. no butterfly shoulders. The bulkiness of the armor could be the argument. You know, you don't have as much free swing and movement there, but you do get the rotating ball jointed shoulder, bicep cut that will also rotate, double jointed elbow that is nice and pinless, very clean, very clean. Hinges at the wrists, hinging way back, way in, especially without that gauntlet there. Features a nice ab crunch coming forward this far and back, and a waist twist. Could have gone for a diaphragm, bro. What's up with that? Let's do that. Let's put those everywhere, you know? But that's fine. Perfectly good. Can do the splits fairly far that way, and as well this way. You get that nice upper thigh cut to rotate all the way around on, as well as pinless double jointed knees with great range. Nothing at the calf, but get down to the ankle here, and you do get hinged back this far forward, and rocking side to side. So he's definitely no slouch. Even for an armored character, it's still Spider-Man. And I'm glad he is well represented in that way.
Hammerhead, hammer you dead. This is Hammerhead, a Spider-Man villain and crime boss from the Magia crime family. Often dresses like he has no idea what year it is. He's got a adamantium plated, that's a really hard metal dome that he, you know, hammers people with. Hammerhead. I'm walking here. You get this nice plucky, punchy, pudgy suit body, fella. The larger variety. And look at this. I believe these are like new slacks. Perhaps these came from, these weren't the sweatpants on the Thor thing, were they? I don't know. But they're pinless. They're pin lips. Look at that. Real stiff joints there. But, I mean, act natural. Crazy. No, the look of this thing is great. It's really simple. Again, it's a suit body, but it's the little flourishes here. This little vest underneath. He's got these really kicking knuckles here. Knuckle kicker. Knuckle dust ya. He can stamp head into yours. Yeah, buddy. Look at this face. That is fantastic. Really, really well done. That puny, bizarre thing that came on the chameleon. I mean, that was cool, but I don't. It's a fine chameleon figure, let me say that. Where's the animated series one? Pin striping throughout. We got pins up here, but you get these little sculpted buttons and other such niceties, you know. Again, it's a suit. There's some form of something happening underneath there, but it holds the look together nicely. Look at that. And you can see that right up this far, they didn't paint that belt. It's all the same color. Who cares, right? Give me $34 or whatever. Now. Right now. You got peg holes on the bottoms of the feet, so I'm getting distracted on these sharp Italian loafers or whatever we got going on here. Visually, this guy, he's a hoss. He's a real treat. A real juicy hog. With all his buttons and flourishes and little pocket flaps and things like that, livening up what would otherwise just be like another suit body. He is certainly not that. He's a made guy. Don't even touch him. What are you doing touching him? Oh! For accessories, dude comes with a couple extra hands and a bat. You know, it's a nice bat, real simple, just cast in plastic, but it's sturdy, straight, not brittle either. That's a fine specimen there. And then a couple of open hands, one of which he might grasp the bat, whatever. Here, look at it. Will you just look at it? So then we just peel open his mitts and stuff that in there, and that goes in all right. We've seen this grasping hand before. It grasps stuff, grasps it fine. With all the nice joints and all the twisting and jagging and such, he can have it up on his shoulder like this, and all kinds of cool guy stuff you can pull off with the bat. He should have more gangster stuff. One of the fists does have the brass knuckles, and those are nice. But otherwise, you know, that's that. Just the suit, the shoes. They spent a lot of money on the shoes, you know what I mean? Budget went to these shoes. Who you grabbing at, wise guy?
To start with, for the articulation on Hammerhead, this head is just on the ball up here, just up on the ball joint. No hinges or anything of the like, but you get this great range down and up. You can look back this far, side to side, and all manner of tilt. Silly tilt, because it's just a ball up on top of the neck like that. I really am enjoying that. As shoulders, you're just going to have the standard ball joint, and you can jerk them right up towards a T-pose. Not quite there, but you can, of course, rotate that if you wanted to cheat with such a thing. He's got the bicep cuts and double jointed elbows with the visible pins, but you get good range there. Hinged wrists in and out, and they are all hinged in the same way. I believe I am correct. Underneath this vest is, I don't know, I'm going to assume that he has an ab crunch. But you get nothing with all this cool stuff happening, and a waist twist that you can actually demonstrate. Okay, he does have thighs on ball joints up here, and you can force this coat a little bit. And this, doing a couple of these, so that's nice. Double jointed, pinless down here on these slacks. Really, really heavy duty. Little off-camera strength there. That's intense, but you do get good range. That looks insane. Okay, the ankles, though, they are a little bit restricted by the pants, but you can see, as usual, they do this kind of crazy-looking cuff thing to give you what they can give you. Let me just get all that Jesus. But so down here you don't get too much that way, but you get good rocker. It's fine. He's gonna do a lot of standing. Maybe he could charge ya. No, he can't do any of that. Sure he can. He can do anything he wants. You can do anything you want with your toy. But you're gonna have to battle some really heavy duty, really stiff legs. They're just like slacks that we're replicating, but these are heavy chunks of plastic here. What's really happening on? What would that be like for him to have heavy plastic legs? Don't pinch yourself in there. Goodness. I think that's all of it, man. I don't know what happened there at the end. The upper thigh cut, you fool.
Alright, so the Mark I Spider Armor figure stands about 6¼ inches tall.
Here it comes. Comparison time. Here it comes.
That makes him just a little shorter than the standard superposable Pete, but a little taller than the Gamerverse Miles. I think the aesthetic of those two fits a little better. Again, as it is sort of an unofficial Gamerverse Spider Armor figure. They can sort of fill both niches, fill both holes with that one, huh? Now with a couple of Spider-Man villains, we have the recently released Sandman, and the OG Absorbing Man Build-A-Figure Wave Hyperion Body Venom. How many other characters can we use to describe this one character? You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. $20 I spent on that in like 2014 or something. Still getting a lot of joy out of that sucker. That's what it's all about. How about a couple X-Men characters? Wolverine and Cyber. Metal bones, metal skin. And how about next to a couple of his Avengers mates? War Machine and Black Widow. Monochrome Jam! To check him next to some figures in a different scale, here he is next to a couple of other armored units, the SH Figuarts Iron Spider and the Hot Toys Iron Spider.
This Hammerhead figure is 6½ inches tall.
Here he is next to the Chameleon figure from a few years ago that came with a swappable head to give you some rendition of Hammerhead. And that sexy new Spider-Man that you want to see all your Spider-Man villains next to. Here he is next to a couple of other smooth criminals, Lonnie Lincoln, Tombstone, and Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. And how about Morbius and the Vulture? It's going to be a Morbius sweep, guys. Messing around outside the lines there. We have the recently reviewed Ultraman and the NECA Ninja Turtles movie Raphael, both in a 7-inch scale. So this 6-inch scale figure is a little small to fit in there. And finally, here are these two side by side, as well as with the last two figures from this wave. And the two before that! Alright, we're done with that. The rest of you can leave.
But what about...
I said we're done.
Aw. But I just want to say hi!
Oh my goodness. Okay, we made it. We finally made it to the final breakdown. I have been sick for a minute. Even lost my voice. That's what I get, right? So this video has taken a bit to see the light of day. Through digital trickery, it's all one seamless cut. I'm tricking you. Digitally. Let's talk about the Spider-Man toy. Another Spider-Man toy. Don't worry, there'll be lots more. This year marks the 60th anniversary of Spider-Man. So in the name of throwing everything at us, we get the modern video game take of this sort of one-off 90s look, the Mark I spider armor, and I think it looks great. Could have used a shinier silver, but I love the double pinless joints. The articulation is great. He is an armored character, but he's still Spider-Man. So he's only missing like the super extras, drop-down hips, butterfly shoulders. But you can still nail some banger poses. $23. Super into it. Now, for an updated Hammerhead, what else could you ask for? Maybe a bunch of guns? Your gun is digging into my hip. No, for real though, he looks great on this bulkier suit body. He's got pinless legs and these hot new pinstripes. The articulation is super solid, regular person articulation too. This thing is an upgrade in every way over the thing we had before. The brass knuckles are a nice touch, but I would love an extra expression. Still, this dude was also $23, and I would definitely recommend him. And I would recommend the Spider-Man. You know what? I would also recommend you leave a like on this video. Anyway guys, thanks for sticking with me. Means a lot. Lots more on this channel, and lots more to come. Make it come. Stick around. Stick around. Hey, stick around. Hey, stick around. Hey, sit on it. What are you doing?